What is going on, everybody? This is Sam Dog, the infamous 253, coming back at you guys with the video for the Week 6 game picks for week number 6 of the 2018 NFL season. Dallas is back joining me again, but we're going to get our game out of the way first. Obviously, we're coming off of that close loss to the Los Angeles Rams, and the Raiders coming off of getting waxed by the Los Angeles Chargers, but man, I'll tell you what, though. I definitely was impressed with, like I mentioned, I was impressed with the way we were able to hang with the Rams and the fact that we were able to run all over their defense. Except, obviously we got young guys in that secondary, and we weren't able to stop their passing attack, even with Brandon Cooks and Cooper Kupp getting knocked out of the game. And, well, it means they got some solid backup, and Jared Goff has a good supporting cast around him, though. What do you think, Dallas? Not the pick, but the game last week's game in general.
The Ram game?
Yeah, the Seahawks-Ram game.
I mean, it was a lot closer than anybody expected. It was tough, though, to see our offense finally click, and the defense could just not come up with a stop when it mattered most. Yeah, it's disappointing losing a close game than it is getting blown out, but I think, what this game showed us is that we can still compete with the best of the best in the NFL. That's for sure. And we actually have a running game this time. We actually have a running game. Yeah, and, David Moore had 2 touchdowns. It's just, I didn't see that
Both the Moore touchdowns were in my end zone, by the way.
Oh, were they?
Yeah.
And, it was just nice that we competed. It would have just been nice to finish off the deal.
Yeah, it would have been nice if we would have been able to get a field goal instead of being knocked out of field goal range due to penalties, including
but like
Fetty.
you said in your post-game reaction to that video, the penalties just ultimately doomed us in that game.
Yeah, it did. That's for sure. But I'll tell you what, though, give it next year's draft. We get a pass rush in that too. But I think the key is we should have been playing more man coverage against those receivers.
Yeah, Goff had all day to throw, too.
Yeah, that's why we got to get some pass rush in the next draft, But other than that, though, let's get to our game pick. We're going to London to take on the Raiders. I got friends going to that game, too. Raiders coming off of getting waxed by the Chargers, and it's been a disappointing year, but we know that we cannot sleep on the Raiders with their offensive weapons. I know they got Jordy Nelson at receiver, and they got Amari Cooper at receiver. I know on their defense they got our former guy and Super Bowl 48 champion Bruce Irvin. We're facing Marshawn Lynch on their offense again, so we get the first time Marshawn Lynch gets to actually play against the Seahawks as an Oakland Raider. Obviously, the future Las Vegas Raiders, we should be saying. But with the way it's been looking, I'll tell you what, with our running attack going good the way it is, and us Russell having time to throw, and that too, the offensive line has actually not been playing that bad, I think Pro Football Focus have them ranked 7th, as I saw. I think if we play our game right in that too, I think we can beat the Raiders in London. I'm gonna pick the Seahawks in this one, but I'm not sleeping on the Raiders because you can never underestimate your opponents. And Derek Carr is still a good quarterback, which I hope we can get pressure and sack him.
Yeah, well, it'll be our first 10 a.m. I'll have to go with Seattle in this one. It'll be our first 10 a.m. start in 2 years.
Yeah, but also we are playing in London, and it's a night game, and it's Russell's second international game. The last time Russell played an international game was his rookie year when we destroyed the Buffalo Bills in Toronto, and Russell Wilson made history in that game, becoming the first quarterback to rush for to have 3 rushing touchdowns by a quarterback in a single game. And that game was in Toronto in the Rogers Center, formerly known as the Sky Dome.
I'll have to go with Seattle in this one, though. I just think they're better. They're better than Oakland. It should be somewhat close, but I think our offense will be able to put up just enough points, and I think the defense will play better.
Yeah, I hope
than it did against the Rams. Raiders don't nearly have as good of an offense, clearly, as the Rams do.
Exactly,
so I'm gonna have to pick Seattle to get to 3-3 heading into their bye week.
And now there's their defense, especially with the way the Chargers played against them in the StubHub Center last week. So, yeah, hopefully we can get this win in London. All right, now we got the start. Let's go with the leadoff game now. We got the Philadelphia Eagles at the New York Giants. Philadelphia coming off of a 2-point loss to the coming off of that 2-point loss to the Minnesota Vikings, and the Giants coming off of a loss to the Carolina Panthers. I'm going to pick for this one, obviously, Philadelphia has been a very big disappointment this year. After winning that Super Bowl last year, Philadelphia has been one of the biggest disappointments this year. They just lost Jay Ajayi to a torn ACL. Now there's rumors about them possibly making a trade to bring Shady McCoy back to Philly, and it'll be interesting to see what they give up for that if they do end up making that trade. And the Giants, obviously, Sterling Shepard was getting very mad. He was kicking stuff, too, except none of the stuff he kicked came back to attack him like Odell Beckham Jr. in the kicking net last year. And the game's Thursday night at MetLife Stadium. I'm going to go with the road team on this one. I'm going to go with the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go with Philadelphia as well, even though they have not looked good the last few weeks. They obviously, I think, should have beat Tennessee a few weeks ago. They just couldn't get a stop on 4th down in overtime. Yep. And then they lost a tough one to the Vikings last week. The Giants lost an absolute heartbreaker to Carolina on the road last week.
Yeah, they did.
I can't see them losing 3 in a row. I know they're on the road again. It's a division matchup. The NFC East is anybody's division right now.
It is.
No team is above 500.
Yeah. Up next.
Yep. I'm gonna have to go with Philadelphia.
All right. Up next, we got the Buccaneers at the Falcons. Tampa Bay at Atlanta, and Atlanta obviously got crapped on by Pittsburgh. Tampa Bay 2 weeks ago got crapped on by Chicago. The game's in Atlanta, and this a toss-up. I think this might be a toss-up one. I don't know. I'm gonna pick the Falcons. The Falcons got Matt Ryan, and they got a better quarterback. I know their defense is relevant, but Atlanta still got weapons. I'm gonna pick the home team on this one. I'm picking Atlanta.
I'll have to go with Atlanta as well. They lost back-to-back home games already. I mean, their season's pretty much on the brink. If not, it could be over already.
No doubt.
They got the better quarterback, and they're at home.
Yep. All right. Up next, Pittsburgh. We got the Steelers at the Bengals. Steelers coming off of crapping all over Atlanta last week, and the Bengals coming off of that win against the Dolphins last week. And the Bengals are leading the AFC North so far. This is another good one too, but I know Pittsburgh had the tie, which is holding them back, but they just beat Atlanta. I'm gonna take the Bengals in this one. Bengals have weapons on that offense too, and then who knows what their defense is gonna do with is Vontaze Burfict gonna be back? Is he back now?
I don't know.
I'm taking Cincinnati.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Cincinnati as well. Playing at home, Pittsburgh. They had a good win last. They had a good win last week against the
Falcons.
Against the Falcons, but
pretty convincing win too.
Yeah, but Pittsburgh really hasn't impressed me all that much this year. I'm gonna have to go with Cincinnati. They came back from 17 down against Miami, and I think they'll strengthen their lead in the AFC North.
No doubt. All right, up next we got the Los Angeles Chargers at the Cleveland Browns. The Chargers coming off of whipping the Raiders, obviously, in the StubHub Center, and the Browns coming off of that squeaker win against the Ravens, that 12-9 win over the Baltimore Ravens. Games at Cleveland, but I'm going to take the road team on this one. I got the Los Angeles Chargers whipping on the Browns.
Yeah, I got the Chargers as well. The Browns definitely with a better kicker, they easily could be 5-0. They've had 3 games go to overtime. But I'm going to have to take the Chargers in this one. They're just the better team.
All right, up next we got the Buffalo Bills at the Houston Texans. Buffalo, you said, came off of that win against the Titans. That game was in overtime, right? Didn't you say that game was in overtime? Buffalo Bills versus Tennessee Titans?
No, it was regulation.
Oh, regulation. Oh, yeah, you said Hauschka hit the game winner. That's right. Hauschka hit a game winner. And Houston Texans are coming off of that Sunday night win against the Dallas Cowboys. Games in Houston. Deshaun Watson versus Josh Allen. This Both teams are having pretty disappointing years. Obviously, at this point, I mean, we can obviously know that they need a couple more pieces. But I'm gonna take the Houston Texans in this one because I think they clearly got a better defense than the Bills, and then of course they got Deshaun Watson at quarterback, and Watson obviously has major weapons like Will Fuller and DeAndre Hopkins, and we'll see what I mean. Usually I try to pay attention to most teams. If I'm watching the game, hearing the certain names though too, more popular names. I'm just naming out popular names, but J.J. Watt on the defense. I'm a J.J. Watt and Whitney Merciless and Jadeveon Clowney. I'm gonna take the Houston Texans in this one.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Houston as well. To get their third straight, they have the better defense and the better quarterback, and I like them getting to 500.
Yeah. All right. Up next, we got the Chicago. We got the Chicago Bears at the Miami Dolphins. 1 p.m. game. Chicago is obviously coming off of the bye week with the big win over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Miami obviously lost last week to Cincinnati, and Bears are playing good football. Khalil Mack is obviously killing people on that defense. With that defense, the Bears got a killer defense still, obviously. Mitchell Trubisky still coming off of a 6-touchdown pass game, coming off of the bye week. And Miami, not really too good. I'm going to take the Chicago Bears winning on the road at Miami.
Yeah, I'm going to have to take Chicago as well, coming off the bye. Miami starting to fall apart a little bit after that surprising 3-0 start, and Chicago's got a really good defense
and a good quarterback too, who's very accurate. Yep. Up next, we got the Arizona Cardinals at the Minnesota Vikings. Obviously, Josh Rosen won his first game as a starting quarterback, surprisingly beating the San Francisco 49ers, which, of course, CJ beat hard. Beathard beat hard it's funny, that was a little nickname someone came up on the site, on one of the sites with dissing the 49ers, called him CJ beat hard. But Josh Rosen is coming off of his first career win as a starting quarterback for the Arizona Cardinals. Going into Minnesota, who Minnesota barely beat the Philadelphia Eagles, and I'm gonna take Minnesota Vikings. They're hard to beat at their stadium. I mean, obviously Buffalo's the only team that shellacked them in their stadium, but I'm taking Minnesota beating Arizona at home.
I'm gonna take Minnesota as well. They're just a better team than Arizona, and they need to start to get it rolling. They've kind of been them and Philadelphia and Green Bay have been huge disappointments so far. All in the NFC.
They have been special. I mean, I was thinking Green Bay was going to be stellar even with Jimmy Graham, but Green Bay's been a pretty big disappointment this year.
Remember, we both thought Green Bay was going to the Super Bowl this year.
Well, yeah, but then again, I mean, obviously it could still be the Rams on the NFC side. Heck, I think it could even be the New Orleans Saints with the way Drew Brees has been playing lately. But
yeah, if they get the home field, they're tough to beat at the Superdome.
I think the Saints are probably one of the only teams in the NFC that can beat the Rams, though. But let's get back to the topic. We picked Minnesota to beat Arizona. Up next, we got the Indianapolis Colts at the New York Jets. The Jets are coming off of a big win at home against the Denver Broncos, obviously, where Isaiah Crowell just ran all over Denver, and Sam Darnold played all right with the he did have a turnover in the game, and I was surprised that the Jets beat Denver the way that they did. I mean, it still makes me pissed about our game against them, but any given Sunday. But the Jets taking on the Indianapolis Colts. Who did they play? Let me see who the Colts played. Oh yeah, Indianapolis got pistol whipped by the New England Patriots last week, obviously. So I'm gonna take the New York Jets to win back-to-back games at home. I'm taking the New York Jets beating the Colts.
Yeah, I'm taking the Jets as well. The Colts aren't very good, although they did show a little bit of more fight than I thought they would last Thursday night against New England. And I thought New England was just going to dominate them.
Yeah.
But I'm going to have to take the Jets to get to 500.
In a way, the Patriots did still dominate the Colts. All right. Up next, we got the Carolina Panthers at the Washington Redskins. Carolina at Washington. Carolina obviously coming off of that win against the Giants, and the Redskins coming off of getting whipped by Drew Brees when Brees set the all-time passing yards record on last night on Monday Night Football. In the games at Washington, Alex Smith has been playing some good football for the Redskins. Surprisingly, they got a 500 record and they are leading the NFC East this year. Carolina, they're obviously close with the Saints in the division. The NFC South, though, I mean, how many games have the Panthers lost so far this year?
Just one.
Just one. So they're basically tied for the lead in the NFC South with the Saints. So it could come down to a tiebreaker. But I don't know. I'm gonna take Carolina in this one at Washington.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to take Carolina as well, even though they did have to survive against the Giants. They're just a better overall team than Washington, and Washington did just look like trash on Monday.
Yeah. All right. Up next, we got the LA Rams at the Denver Broncos. Obviously, Rams barely escaped us, but I think obviously in our game, I told you, like I said before my last video, we found a chink in the armor. So because the Rams defense definitely showed weakness, and I know they got Talib on the IR and that too, and then obviously we knocked Brandon Cooks out with a concussion. Cooper Kupp left with an injury. Denver Broncos coming off of that loss to the Jets. I think that loss at the Jets. So I mean, I'm still gonna take the Rams, but I'm gonna laugh if somehow surprisingly, obviously I don't expect it, but if Denver were to pull an upset, I would laugh if Case Keenum beat his former team for a second year in a row, but on a different team. But I'm gonna take the LA Rams in this one.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Rams. Boy, Denver after that 2-0 start, they've really fallen. That was a kind of an embarrassing loss at the Jets last week, which, like you said, it makes our loss to them look even worse.
Yeah, but I'm still gonna say this though. I think the Rams will take their first L against the New Orleans Saints, or maybe Kansas City for all we know in Mexico City.
I didn't know that game was in Mexico City.
Yeah, I wonder when that game between the Rams and the Chiefs, what week that takes place. But yeah, got LA beating Denver. Up next, we got the Jacksonville Jaguars at the Dallas Cowboys. Jacksonville obviously got pissed on by Patrick Mahomes, and Dallas obviously lost in overtime at Houston last week. Jacksonville's got to be pretty mad about. I mean, obviously it was two good teams, but that defense got shredded. Mahomes shredded that defense. They shredded, I think, in my opinion, one of the top defenses in football. But I'm gonna see. I think I'm gonna take Jacksonville at Dallas bouncing back. I know they did lose one of their other running backs for the year to a torn ACL. I forgot which one though, but I'm gonna go ahead, and I know the Jaguars did just sign Jamal Charles, a former Kansas City Chief, but I'm gonna take Jacksonville beating the Cowboys at Dallas.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Jaguars as well, coming off of that loss at Kansas City. Like I said, the Cowboys just seem like a very flawed team this year.
Yeah, and even Jerry Jones was pissed about that. You could see, someone noticed it, but Jerry Jones was looking furious during that game. We've been going for 18 minutes though, but thank you for all who still hang in there to keep on watching our game picks. Sometimes we'd like to try to point out certain details in that too.
Especially those people on the East Coast.
Exactly, yeah. No doubt.
Or, probably getting ready for bed.
True. But they can always check out the video in the morning when they wake up or when they're off of work the next day. But thank you. But yeah, we got Jacksonville beating Dallas. Up next, we got the Baltimore Ravens at the Tennessee Titans. Baltimore coming off of that loss to the Browns, and Tennessee coming off of that loss to the Bills. And I think Baltimore still kind of got I think Baltimore just had a big disappointment in this one. Tennessee obviously had a disappointment in their game too against the Buffalo Bills, but I'm gonna take the Ravens at the Titans winning this one. I'm gonna take the Ravens.
Yeah, I think I'll take the Ravens as well. I think they're a little angry about losing to the Browns, So I think they're going to bounce back this week.
All right, and this is the primetime one for Sunday Night Football. This one is going to be, everybody's going to have their eyes glued to this one. Patrick Mahomes versus Tom Brady in Foxborough. We all know what happened last year, even though it was Alex Smith starting, which was the kickoff game last season, where Kansas City just went into New England and destroyed them and put 42 points up against the Patriots. They freaking just destroyed New England last year, even with Alex Smith as quarterback. Tom Brady, obviously, Patriots defense has been very disappointing. I know they still got an offense, obviously, with Julian Edelman, Cordero Patterson, Josh Gordon. How well can the Chiefs guard Josh Gordon, who caught Tom Brady's 500th touchdown pass last week against the Colts? This is going to be a game to watch too. Can Mahomes beat the GOAT is the question. He's been showing that he can beat the best defenses out. Obviously he beat Jacksonville. The Chiefs are unbeaten right now, and the Patriots are 3-2 right now. Surprisingly, I know Foxborough's a tough place to play, but I would love to see Mahomes go in there and beat the GOAT and wipe his foot and shine his shoes with the GOAT. I mean, it's hard to go against Tom Brady in New England. Tough place to play. But if you can get a win in New England, that's basically a momentum shift for your season. I'm gonna go ahead. I don't know. We might be split on this one. You want to go? I'm gonna go ahead and take. I want to see Patrick Mahomes do it. I'm gonna take Kansas City.
I think I'm gonna also take Kansas City as well. It is a tough one, but I thought Jacksonville was gonna give them their first loss, and it didn't happen, and they looked very impressive against a good Jacksonville team. So I believe they have enough to go in there and beat them.
And I think Kansas
City shut down the Patriots' offense.
And if the Chiefs keep playing the way they are, we could probably see home field advantage in the AFC side going through We could probably see the road to the Super Bowl going through Arrowhead Stadium and not Foxborough for once.
Yeah, and then all the pressure is on Kansas City because they need to prove it in the playoffs.
Yeah, because Andy Reid's been a known choker in the playoffs, so that would so the pressure would be on Kansas City. And finally, Monday Night Football, we got the San Francisco 49ers at the Green Bay Packers. That's an easy one. Green Bay's going to shit all over San Francisco.
Yeah, I'll have to go with Green Bay at home. It's coming off of that, frustrating loss, to say the least, against Detroit on the road.
Yeah, Mason Crosby.
24-0 at halftime and then kind of making a game out of it.
And Mason Crosby
just having an all-time.
Mason Crosby had a Blair Walsh-like game.
Yeah, and there were some people out there saying, "Oh, should they cut him?"
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it was just one bad game. Yeah.
Well, Hauschka did miss 3 field goals in 2014 against the Cardinals when we pulled Beastquake 2.0. I remember you and me were watching that game at my dad's house that night too. But San Francisco, obviously, they got CJ Beathard as quarterback, and obviously they're doomed. I mean, they lost. They lost to Josh Rosen. Of course, Beathard did throw a pick 6 and all too, which Arizona's defense did help Rosen. But Rosen hit Christian Kirk wide open for a dime on his first play from scrimmage.
No way in hell I don't think Green Bay loses this game. If they lose this game, they're in trouble.
They are, but they're not.
If they cannot beat the Niners, they are in trouble.
Yeah, I got Aaron Rodgers and Green Bay crapping all over the 49ers.
I think it's gonna be just a blowout.
Yeah, Niners. Like I said before, when the Niners lost Garoppolo, their season is basically doomed. They're doomed.
Yeah.
All right, and that's it for our Week 6 game picks. So we got hopefully our team pulling the ups. We got our Seahawks winning in London against the Raiders. Now keep in mind most of our game picks will not be accurate, as been shown in the past.
The last few weeks, we've kind of really struggled.
Hey, but something, that's just the fun of game picks. So yeah, we got us beating the Raiders. We got the Eagles beating the Giants. We got the Falcons beating Tampa, beating the Buccaneers. We got the Steelers losing to Cincinnati. We got the Chargers beating Cleveland. We got the Texans beating the Bills. We got the Bears beating the Dolphins. We got the Vikings beating the Cardinals. We got the Jets beating the Colts. We got the Panthers beating the Redskins. We got the Rams beating the Broncos. We got the Jags beating the Cowboys. We got the Ravens beating the Titans. And we got the Chiefs beating the Patriots. And then we got the Packers beating the 49ers in Lambeau. Monday Night Football. And there you have it for your Week 6 game picks. Dallas, thank you for coming on. And
no problem.
And for anybody new to the channel, make sure to like, hit the subscribe button, and ring the bell for notifications. We try to get some new stuff going on. Seahawks got an early morning game in London. Well, nighttime in London, morning our time, though. I got a bunch of friends going to that game, so huge shout out to Dave Eck, Bob Fedek, and Christy, and my buddy Skinny, who's going to the game, too. And so hope y'all have fun over there.
Is it Norb going?
Norb's going. Oh yeah, shout out to Norb Cam. He's going to London too. Even one of my people from work is going with his wife to that game too. The game's in Wembley Stadium. So yeah, I hope y'all have fun and hopefully bring us back a W from London. Who knows what kind of performance Russell Wilson has, because he killed it in the last international game he played. Hopefully he can make England the third country that he's won a game in, and then maybe in the future the Seahawks will maybe get the Mexico City game. But anyway, thank y'all for tuning in. Like, hit the subscribe button if you haven't. I know I said I have a habit for repeating myself on that too, but thank y'all for tuning in. We've been going for 26 minutes, so going to end it right there. Appreciate you all who hang in there the entire time. And remember, if you ain't with it, you ain't infamous. And as always, go Seahawks.